All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So, in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Jeaneen Tang. I'm a speech language pathologist. I've been a speech therapist for almost 24 years now, and born in Honolulu, Hawaii, I never thought I would leave Hawaii, but in 2005 I moved to Los Angeles, California, and I thought I could be an actress. But good thing I was a speech therapist already, because being an actress and working part-time actually full-time as a waitress, is very hard to make ends meet. And so I got my license in California as well as in Hawaii, and I worked in the school system here for 4 years and then moved on to early intervention. And in 2012, I had my son. And unfortunately, in 2013, he had an accident where he had a brain injury and a stroke. And fortunately, I'm a speech therapist, so I was able to, give him all the therapy that he needed as soon as he needed them, and get him the help that he needed right away. He was 13 months old, so, now he is 12 years old, and he's had lots of therapy. And I thought, why not help other people besides my son and the children that I work with by writing a book? So I wrote a book called Play, Dumb, and Sabotage, as a handbook for every parent, educator, and person that works with children. So like I said, I'm a speech therapist for 24 years and a mom for 12. And working in early intervention for the past 12 years has been amazing. I've worked with many children, and I found that I could help children better by working with their parents on training them how to better work with their kids, because early intervention is all about how we develop young children.
So that's fascinating, and I would love to dig a little bit deeper. So tell us a bit more about what you're working on today that you're most passionate about and believe will have the biggest impact.
So I published my book, Play, Dumb, and Sabotage. The subtitle is Mindfully Under-Anticipating the Child's Needs and Creating Opportunities to Practice Language. My passion is early intervention speech therapy, and my goal is to really reduce the number of children who need speech therapy, because I feel that with parent training and educator training, we can really decrease the number of children that actually need therapy, because oftentimes we over anticipate what children need and we speak for them. We do too much for them. And if we find ways in order to develop language naturally in kids and practice strategies, we'll be able to decrease the number of children that need speech therapy and also help other children who actually have developmental disabilities or autism or some other language disability that will be pervasive throughout their life.
So this next question is one that every entrepreneur has dealt with. Tell us about a time where you failed. We often say failure is the first step to success. So think about a time where you failed in the past. What happened? What did you learn from it?
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to figure out how I was going to write a book, took a long time, and countless hours of, what they call analysis paralysis, right? You just start to think about the process of doing something, but not actually doing it. So I actually waited a long time to write my book. And I look at that as kind of a failure or a setback, because I was not taking what I knew and putting it into action. So by learning personal development and learning strategies to get myself out of this procrastination habit, I was able to write my book and publish it within a year, which is, something that not many people can say they can.
That's fascinating. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show to dive deeper into each of these questions. But for now, one thing that I often say is, and I tell this to my employees and the people who work with me and for me all the time, is that when a tree falls in the forest, if nobody hears it, did that tree actually fall? This brings me to this next question. How do you make sure that all of these amazing projects that you're involved in get noticed? What marketing and advertising methods have worked best for you? You've got a minute. Let's go.
I have my website. It's called Play Dumb and Sabotage. And from there, people can connect with me as well as look at all of the links that I have for social media, for my book, for my online trainings and things like that. I worked best meeting people, connecting with people. So it's best for me, for myself. I've made great connections with people in my community, in my education outreach, right? So either at the schools that I've worked with, parents that I've worked with, so referral basis is really big for me. And then I'm working with a partner to develop an online training and course so I can be able to be accessible for everybody around the world.
That was so awesome. We're definitely going to dive deeper into this on a later show. And as we approach our last question, before we ask people how people can get a hold of you, how people can reach you, learn more about the work that you're doing in your company, and we will include all that information in the show notes. What I wanted to ask you is, what is one piece of advice that you would offer to your younger self, to our audience, and to somebody, especially somebody who's just starting out in the same niche that you're in, but just doesn't know how to start or get going?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things is to, put your ego aside and not get stuck with feeling that, you have to be able to figure everything out on your own, because you shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So I think that to my younger self, I would say, ask for more help. Ask for, follow a coach, follow a model that you can look at that person and understand that they have achieved something that you want to achieve. I had a great mentor when I graduated from my master's degree program, and she was so helpful for my first year and beyond in speech therapy. But going the business route and having the idea to create a book and then want to do a course, an online course, and reach not only my community but nationally and internationally, I think leveling up really needs to, in order for you to level up, you need to be able to reach out and have a coach and a model from somebody who's already done it themselves.
Amazing stuff. We're going to have to thank our guest today for being a guest on Business Story of the Week. And before we cut out on this episode, I wanted to ask you, how can people get a hold of you? How can people learn more about what you're doing? And how do people engage with you? And we will transcribe this and put it in the show notes for everybody to find.
The best way for you to find me is go to my website. It's playdumbandsabotage.com. And from there, you can connect with me. I can email out. I'm going to be doing email blasts to my email list, and then also all the podcasts that I've been on. A lot of them, the highlighted ones, are on there as well, so you can look back at other conversations that I've had with people. My Instagram and my Facebook is also on there, and as well as a link to my book.
All right, amazing. So you did it. Thank you for being a guest on the show today. Let me tell you what you can expect next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this, we're going to cut it into an episode. It will go on the Business Story of the Week page. So make sure you go on Apple Podcasts, review us, like us, go on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to us on Spotify, and this will come out in the next 30 days or so, depending on our workload and how many shows we have. We have had a lot of interest in the show lately, so we may be a little backed up, but the show will get out. In the meanwhile, we will send you clips that feel free to share on social. Also, the full episode. Feel free to share any way that you like. The content is yours to share and put out there. We just ask that you mark us and tag us in the notes if you do. So in the copy, put hashtag business story of the week, link back to us. We would appreciate that. And if you think that you might be interested in doing more podcasts, live ones and studio ones, Zoom ones, Riverside ones, there's a whole host of shows that likely if you did this one and succeeded, you would probably be really great at, and a great way of getting your message out. So your host will talk to you about potentially getting you booked on a strategy call for a business story of the week's sister company, Podcast Cola, or becoming a YouTube influencer through Viral Mirage. Thanks again for being a part of this. Looking forward to working with you.